Hi guys, we are live again. It's a little bit later today, but we're still going to go live. We're going to be, once again, same as yesterday, just locking in, focusing on the history paper 1 and paper 2, because those are up and coming. I do have an exam tomorrow for English paper 2, however, I don't really need to focus on that one too much because I feel like the analysis points I'm all good with, and also the creative writing I don't really need to improve much on. Just going to quickly make sure everything here is good. Here, go like this. Okay. This one we'll edit. Just make sure everything's all working. Okay. Okay, all good now. So we should be good there. Yep, everything's good now. Hi DInoDoomz, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Just getting this set up too, because, okay, here we go. So let's start again, as per usual. History paper 1, liberalism in Germany. Everything's set up now. And I'm just going to start with the Austrian domination and the humiliation of Olmütz, where I left off from yesterday. Okay, got it down here to impact on German nationalism. I think we did that, yeah. Reflections on diplomacy and power balances within the 19th century. We'll also just quickly get the music set up as per usual. I like to have that in the background just to focus. There we go. And yeah, as per usual, guys, let me know if you have any questions, if you just want to chat with me. Live chat's always open for you guys to do so. Hi, Zanai Technology, how are you? I'm good, just so you know. Age, 17, but I'm turning 18 this year, and yeah, that's like the age to do the A levels at. I don't know what you mean by that, Sam Perna. There is no one behind me, just a fish tank. Okay, humiliation of Olmut's finished. Now we're going to post-revolution industrialization. So I'll answer two questions. So first of all, the chapter I'm doing, it's not really a chapter, but I'm doing liberalism and nationalism in Germany for my A level. It's paper one, and I'm writing down my notes in this notebook off of my screen on the side here. And the second thing is a trick for a viral channel is just be consistent. If you consistently upload, the algorithm will eventually detect your content and also push it to a wider audience. All you have to do is sort of select your niche, so what you feel like your channel is going to be themed around, and then you're going to then sort of continually upload your themed channel. So if your channel is called Deny Technology, for example, you'd assume it would be about technology, so you'd continue uploading technology related videos every day for the whole year, and you should get there. And hi Golem, I'm fine, how are you? And welcome to the stream. Why did I take history? Because it's a topic that's one of my passions. It's my main passion, if anything. I'm looking at maybe a future in anthropology. If YouTube doesn't work out, obviously. Anthropology is a pretty interesting topic, especially when you look at how humans have sort of enacted in civilization over the course of years, which is pretty interesting to me, at least. Do you only post history, revision, or other subjects? So currently my history exam is actually in 2 days, so that's why I'm studying for history, but I do geography, which is one of my other subjects, and English language, which is another one. They're my 3 subjects that I do for A-level. And my channel's not really about revision, in a sense. It's more about just what I do myself, being like authentic as possible. So yeah, I just try and be as authentic as possible. I'm showing my study methods, how I'm going through the A-levels, and then obviously we'll shift away from that once the A-levels have completed at the end of May. No, my dad doesn't yell at me while I'm making notes at live. No. Not really. People who are smart take history, just like any other subject. It just depends on what type of history you're studying. So for me, if you study history, it sort of is about lawmaking, because to get into law, for example, you have to do history. You have to do different sort of historical topics to ensure that you know how laws are formed, created, passed, how the government's relation with the church, for example, and that sort of thing. So yeah. And plus you have to memorize a ton, so if you don't have a good memory, then you're not going to get through history. So we got the emergence of the industrial powers. Okay. 80. Reasons. Experienced. Potential. I wouldn't say it's strictness. Doing this is just like, it's obviously pretend you're like videoing yourself. That's really what it is. It's I'm still doing the study, except you guys get to see me doing it, and it's relaxing session, answering your guys' questions as well. It's not really about strictness. And it's 1 hour per day too, guys. So like 1 hour, 1 hour 30 for this at least. Then I do some other streams maybe sometimes, and rest of the day I'm studying. So it's like 1 hour and in 10 hours of study. I don't think it's that detracting, to be honest. Just make sure that this music's going to keep going. Okay, there we go. Smith, I just am doing history currently. I said this before, but I do geography and English language. They're my three A-level subjects, so those are the ones that I am studying at the moment. But yeah, as I said before, this is only during the A-level period because I got my exams coming up throughout May, and then once May is over, then we'll sort of move away from there. Unless, of course, anyone else needs help with their English, geography, history sort of questions, I can help out with that no matter what. Hope that answers your question, Smith. And thanks for tuning in too. Hi, M. DeWood. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Yep, I am indeed locked in here. Exam tomorrow for English language, then we got history coming up, 2 in a row, I think, as well. So I can't really mess around anymore. I have to sort of get this one done. Also, unfortunately, and judging by the score now, yeah, Manchester United are losing 4-2. So, fellow Manchester United fans, sorry for the loss, guys. It was a bad day today. At least Real Madrid did indeed win their game. Yeah. I actually enjoy more so as well history sort of outside of the topics that the A level does, because I feel like the A level sort of restricts how much you can really do in history, and also I feel like it sort of sometimes makes it less enjoyable. Sometimes at the same time it doesn't really. But yeah, hope you continue your history passion outside of and not taking it. Your maths paper got leaked? Oh. So what happens in that case? Do you get like a completely new paper at a rescheduled date, or do you just get to see the answers? I've never seen a paper get leaked early before. Let me just get this music cycle back to the start. There we go. Hi Louis Five Guys, welcome back to the stream. How are you? Okay, now we got the key sectors of their development: textile, coal, steel. Yeah, I'm good. Just locking in here for the upcoming 3 exams I have. Hopefully you can get them done. Double history and English language paper 2. Thank you, Louis Five Guy. Much appreciate the good luck. Hopefully I can do it here. I'll be much more at ease, at least if paper 1 gets out of the way, because once you get paper 1 out of the way for each subject, and you get paper 2 for history, because paper 1's sort of easier, it sort of becomes much more of an easy time, especially for the rest of the papers. It just feels like that you've got a bunch of weights off your shoulder there. Why watching is low? I don't know. It's just how it is. Some days it's higher than others, but we keep going, we keep grinding. on here, be consistent, and then we should see success. Subject, same as yesterday, history, paper 1 and paper 2 we're covering today. I got it all down here on the notebook, previous page too. Marks, so the paper 1 is out of 60. I think all of them are actually out of 60. Paper 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that means a total mark of 240. I'm sure anyway, I'm pretty sure. Might be slightly less. I haven't really checked the actual mark scheme of this topic, so. What's the best way to study history in your opinion? So the best way to study history is, so what my old history teacher sort of taught me, and he was one of the best teachers I've ever had. His methods were sort of, first of all, you want to have a visual recognition. So you want to be looking at your history notes, read through them the first time, make sure you get the key terms sort of in your eyes. The second thing you want to do is writing, which I'm doing now. And this is a good technique to practice not only writing down your answers and the notes, but then if you write down, your brain can sort of remember the hand strokes, if that sort of makes sense. You can remember the strokes on which you're writing with, and that should allow you to, in an exam, similar environment, remember how you've written your answers and that sort of stuff. And final is auditory. So what you want to do there is maybe record yourself reading the notes and then re-listen to them, like while you're doing gardening, for example, if you're out in the garden or on the treadmill or just having a walk or something like that. And that should allow you to get sort of all the different types of senses covered. Maybe even one way that I remember that I was doing, I think, for geography in one of the live streams, was I wrote down the information and then I would write next to it sort of something that I can relate to easily. So I play Clash Royale, which is a mobile game. I know certain cards in the game. There's like Knight, for example, and I relate that to one of the key information points. For example, River Discharge could be 148 QMEX in geography, and I relate that to Knight as a card. And you can do the same for history. So Bismarck, you can remember his different types of key points about him, for example, and you can go and say his key points are related to Knight, his key points are related to something else. Are you going to college? Good luck, Muffin, with that. Hope your college is going to go well. And Australia hot? I don't actually live in Australia, Best Gamer. I live in Saudi, which is as hot as Australia, so yeah, I'd say it's pretty hot too. And no problem, STWDY. I'll just call you Study, I guess. Also, I think it's my cat bashing on my door. I have no idea why. Yeah, I did grow up in Australia. Yes, and my cat has actually opened my bedroom door, so I'm just going to quickly go and shut that for like 1 sec. I have no idea how she did that. That is like the weirdest thing I've experienced there. It was the full door shut and she just went and opened it and went inside. Unfortunately, my cat doesn't really like being touched, like, by humans. We got 4. This one in particular doesn't really like being like picked up or something like that. She just gets growls and mad. But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, I did grow up in Australia for quite a bit, so I got the thick accent here. So yeah. Rickroll in the chat. Love to see it. Shift in workforce. Oh, you're studying Macbeth? First of all, welcome to the stream, Ashraf. Much appreciate you being here. And yeah, how are you doing? I took Macbeth in IGCSE, and my goodness, what a depressing book that is. I did not enjoy having a read of that, but got through it now. Here I am. So yeah, hopefully you have the same sort of similar ease through that. Yeah, theoretical subjects are indeed harder than logical ones, I feel like. I agree. So I got a couple of plans. First of all, good luck with your essay plans there. They're always kind of difficult to make, but hopefully you can get through those. With YouTube in mind, I feel like that. So once we get past the A levels here, ends like May 26th. My birthday's close to that, so we'll be streaming every day since then, playing games, doing whatever you guys really want. If you have game suggestions, please let me know. Yeah, so we'll be doing that every single day. Might be doing some in real life, like football pitch streams with my brother, because he does appear on the channel quite frequently. And yeah, then around like halfway through June, I'm going on vacation, so I will be doing in real life stream wherever I go there, like some sort of travel vlogging in real life. And that's something that I've always wanted to really do, sort of share where I sort of experience. And yeah, just everyday streaming, making videos on different stuff, and overall just sticking to my motto, which is making this channel about as authentic fun as possible, and not really so like over the top exaggerated like most YouTube channels are nowadays. It's more just being authentic, down to earth, just like a regular person in a sense. Not doing stuff like Mr. Beast giving $200,000 away to a game show contestant. Okay, thank you, Ashraf. Much appreciate your sub as well. Helps the channel as per usual. And I appreciate all you guys who do that. And yeah, enjoy your session on as well, doing your essay plans, and I hope you can get those done and get through Macbeth. Rapid urbanization led to the overcrowding of cities. It's literally the same everywhere, overcrowding cities. Okay, the Zollverein and its impact on economic unity. Hooray. Best way to overcome procrastination. So that's actually something I kind of struggled with prior to actually starting up this channel again. So if you look at my video dates, you'll see there's like 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, and then there's like a big jump to like 2 months, and then there's a jump to like a couple of weeks ago when I restarted it. So one way to overcome procrastination is sort of finding the root for it. So what I recommend is the root based on fear, for example, fear of being judged, fear on not being able to do something to the best of your ability. The next thing is I highly recommend watching this TED Talk. I actually will put it in the description because this one really, it actually helped me out a ton with sort of, in general, everything. Let me get it. Procrastination TED Talk. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one is so good. I highly recommend this TED Talk here. I'll just get the proper link as well. Here we go in here. Okay, just getting the link. Okay. This one I highly recommend watching. Great TED Talk. It really helped me as well. It's about a procrastination monkey, and he sort of explains it like very well, and I feel like that they should show this really everywhere, depending on if you go to school, university, or college. They should show this one everywhere, this video. But besides that as well, if you're procrastinating your work, just think, what are you going to do once the procrastination's over? You can always do the thing afterwards, but you can always like, if you've got a game in mind, for example, you want to play like Fortnite, and you have a test due, think you can play Fortnite once the test is done, and you'll get a better score doing it, like study then studying the final chunk, doing that, and then Fortnite, and then you have consequences. Which A-level board do I take? I take Cambridge. Yeah, and Holmer Groza, thank you for joining the stream. Hope you're all doing good. But yeah, so I highly recommend watching that video. Yeah, it talks very well about procrastination, and I just would focus just on being calm-minded, relaxed. Yeah, CIE, Cambridge International. Yeah. Calm-minded, relaxed, and just know that if you do it now, you'll be much more happier doing it now than in the future. Yeah. I'm from Australia, but I currently live in Saudi Arabia, which is a beautiful country, both hot as well, so I have to deal with the desert twice, but that's okay. I'm used to it by now. Lived here for quite a long time, and I still retain the Australian accent too. No problem. Glad to help, study. I hope you can get through the procrastination. Hope you can get through to doing your revision, and yeah, just stay calm. Maybe play some music while you're doing revision too, and sort of try to associate revision as something where you can sort of relax your mind rather than it's a chore to do. Because I feel like if we always associate something with a chore, then it's not going to ever work out for us in the end. My exam, so I got one tomorrow on paper 2 for English language. Then I got one the next day, paper 1 history. One the day after, paper 1 geography, and then one the day after that, paper 2 history. So big chunk here. Once we pass that chunk, we have like a 5-day break. Then we go for another chunk of like 4 exams, and then we have a large like 2-week break, and then we got the final chunk in the end of May. My weight, I'm not really going to answer that because that's a little bit unnecessary, but yeah. I'm doing both. So this exam package is AS and A2. So I took the 2-year course. We didn't do exams in the middle. It was just directly now doing paper 1 and 2 for each subject, and then 3 and 4 for the each subject as well. So yeah, I'm doing a combination. At least that's what my school offered, so I couldn't even split it up if I wanted to. Yeah, I know it's pretty frustrating, but yeah, I would have preferred actually to do AS at the start, then have another year, and then focus on A2, because yeah, now it's all shoved into 1 month, so yeah, it's pretty annoying. I would have also preferred if the exams sort of spread over into June, because I know it says May, June, so you can get June exams. However, all of mine literally shoved into the first week of May, so have to deal with that one, but yeah, we should get through it. You also got exams. Well, good luck with that, hold my groza, and I hope you have a good rest of your evening or morning, depending on where you are, and thank you for the good luck as well, and tuning in too. Do you know someone who is doing cheating? No, I do not know someone who cheats in the exams. I saw a video of someone using a calculator. It was like a phone calculator in the exam, but I highly recommend you do not cheat in your exam. Are you from Nepal? Or Nepal? Yeah, I really actually want to visit there one day. It's on my to-go lists, along with some other Asian countries, because I'm a fan of Asian countries. Live in one myself. So yeah, it would be in the late evening for you. Yeah, right. Yeah, cheating in A-level exams impossible. Yeah, especially because when I go into my exam hall, I instantly am metal detected. Go to my seat, examiners constantly looking over at me. And there's security cameras too. So yeah, I don't think it's possible. I'm pretty sure the person with the calculator cheat was just like advertising their product or something or other. Yeah, isn't so many countries are like that nowadays as well, where it's like the government's sort of not a representation of what the people are like. And I feel like that if all governments are just like, I don't know, if we change the way governments work to where everything's like nice, and that we'd be able to enjoy each other's presence much better. What's a good way to structure essays for the English language? Okay, I actually have something for that, so I'll share this with you guys here. Just let me get this, because I already did paper 1 for English. And this applies to paper 2 as well, so. Yeah, here, I think it's. Wait, let me get this up. Trying to think. Oh yeah, it was in April 30th was my exam, so I'll just quickly find this one. April 29th. Document. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I got this one. Yeah. Okay. Let me share this with you. Anyone with the link? Copy link. Okay. Here we go. This one's a good document I use to sort of structure questions. So there's 2 tabs to the document. So tab 1 is sort of explaining about how I answered a sort of past paper question for question 1A, question 1B. They're sort of not what you have to really worry about too much if you're just doing a regular essay. The one you have to worry about here is question 2. And on tab 2 of the document, I have a full sort of structural analysis on how to do question 2. So yeah, you want to use the Peel format. You want to constantly relate back to the question at hand with the link, and yeah, you just need to make sure you use embedded quotes, pure format, common analysis techniques, and that sort of thing. You should do fine then otherwise. And no problem study. Hope you do well in your assessments as well. Just let me get water, guys. I'll be back for 1 sec, okay? Okay, back, guys. Sorry about that. Just had to get some water. Make sure I got that too. Okay. Thanks to everyone who stayed as well. Because whenever someone leaves, usually on stream, like the viewer count drops by a ton. But all you guys still here? Okay, so we'll continue now where I was at. Challenges and responses. Yeah. For the introduction paragraph, do you reckon a thesis style introduction is better than just listing what the author did? Okay, so that sort of depends on personal preference. So in history, I highly recommend a thesis style introduction because that's what my history teacher recommended. For English, it sort of depends. So if you do a thesis, it sort of limits as well how far you can sort of scope outside of the thesis. Whereas for English, I like to personally push the boundaries on what the analysis can actually allow you. So for example, in one of my analyses for paper 1, I did something which wasn't really at all related to the question, but I sort of linked it back at the end with the link. So if you list sort of the themes much more so, it's not really listing, but more so you're stating what the author's actually presenting, because then you can link this back as a link in each paragraph. Whereas the thesis, you can technically do that, but I know, to me personally, I just don't use that for English. I use it for geography and history more so than English. But again, personal preference. I'm pretty sure it'll work fine either way. The main thing the examiner looks at anyway for English is the pure paragraphs. So as long as you have strong analysis paragraphs, the intro is not really looked at in such light. Hi Terabyte, welcome back once again. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Studying out for history paper 1 and 2 coming up. So yeah, I need to lock in for these ones. Actually got the English language paper 2 tomorrow, but I mean, it's similar to paper 1. If you got paper 1 locked down, paper 2 should be just as easy. How long do I recommend studying one subject? Let me think. So, I think the best is sort of, if you do 5-hour, 1-hour intervals, so you you set out a time, so you structure, say I've got my history exam coming up tomorrow, for example, and it's the morning, it's like 9 a.m. So I go, or 8 a.m. even, I go 1 hour, 10-minute break, 1 hour, 10-minute break, and then I go up to 5 hours. Once I've done that, then I move to the next subject. And in between subjects, I recommend taking like a 30-minute break, 45-minute break, go outside, do something else, because the brain cannot retain information if it's just pushed to its limits of studying. Because if you study the whole day and then you go, like, for example, outside afterwards, you're going to completely forget everything you did. But if you have breaks in between, it's encouraging your brain to keep the information stuck. At the start of each interval, I also recommend looking back quickly at like a cheat sheet of what you looked at previously. So, for example, say I am covering this, for example, liberalism in Germany, industrialization. I would look back at what I did briefly before moving on to the next topic, just so I can quickly remember it and encourage my brain to sort of remember in between those breaks. Because in the end, when you go into the exam, they usually try and sit you down for about, like, I'd say 10-15 minutes without any interaction with your notes, anything like that, without interaction with the exam paper. Just sit in silence for 15 minutes or so. And that's sort of a tactic to make your brain sort of forget any last minute notes you've looked at. And so what you want to do is make sure your brain can withstand that sort of time period, and also time period leading up to the exam, so then you can remember within the exam. Okay, now we got the interplay of industrialization and the Zollverein. I don't know what's meant by Pomodoro. Let me actually check what that means, because oh, it's the interval technique, yeah. So what I do is I basically just on these live streams, I'm just doing hour 30-minute live streams. Yeah, it's 25 minutes study, 5-minute break. So what I do on these live streams, I just do an hour and 30 minutes of just complete studying, talking with you guys at the same time if you have questions, because that's one way that actually helps me remember stuff. If I relate sort of certain events with certain notes, I can help my brain sort of ease that into my memory. So yeah, this is how the live streams have to go during this exam period. Once we get out of the exam period, of course, we'll move away from that sort of thing. Also, I'm changing this music back because this music is terrible. Okay, there we go. I actually never knew that Pomodoro meant what I was explaining before. I just thought it was just like interval study or something like that. What kind of music? Definitely not this music. This music's only because it's copyright free music, and also it has no ads in between, so we don't have to hear like random ads. Also, glad to see you back, M. DeWood. You went AFK. Happens to me sometimes. But with regards to music, I just listen to something that's not too over the top, so you don't want to be listening to like heavy metal rock, for example, while you're studying. You want to keep it sort of like lo-fi, sort of not. You can listen to your classic artists, like if you like Bruno Mars, for example, you can listen to him, or The Weeknd, you can listen to him. But I do recommend as well, one thing that definitely helps me is actually having some background noise. So even if that's, for example, you play cafe sounds on a separate like speaker, and then you listen to music while you're doing study, so you got two sounds. The CIA of America actually did a sort of study on this, and they found that people actually can remember stuff better if it's a crowded environment, not too noisy, but like a crowded in terms of lots of audio sources. So if you play cafe music, like not cafe music, sorry, cafe sounds, and you play your classic artist, yeah, that's a good way to listen to music while studying. And that's what I do personally as well. I just listen to some of those regular artists on a pop playlist that's Spotify could have made randomly. So yeah. I don't know if Best Gamer is here or not, but I disagree. Um, okay. All have personal opinions on the music and stuff, but like, yeah. Yeah, exactly. If I had a library near me, I would be studying there, but unfortunately don't have one, so just going here at the moment. My library's the nearest one's like maybe 45 minutes away or so, so yeah, I just like studying in my room. You guys technically are like background noise to me because I'm explaining stuff to myself, um, because I'm looking at the monitor with your guys' information and then just reading it off. Oh, you mean like from before? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, I thought that theoretical subjects personally were harder, but that's just because I'm taking more theoretical subjects. But I can clearly see the other stance. Logical subjects are harder as well, because yeah, for example, history, you do have lots of open source books. You have lots of theoreticians and that sort of stuff. Final study. Personally, never tried that type of like music, but yeah, if that works for you, then that's great. I would use anything that sort of works for you. Anything that you feel like is helping your brain remember, you should use. There was also like even a study like if you listen to music at a specific frequency, or your notes are like a specific frequency, you can remember better. But I mean, who knows? Haven't been able to try that out, so we'll never end up knowing. Industrialization heightened. Thank you for the good luck so long. Much appreciate it. Also, guys, if you want to keep in contact with me, if you're like leaving or you're staying and you like these sort of discussions, I have a Discord server. It is on the description of every single live stream and video I do. So yeah, feel free to join that if you want. You can private message me there. And also, yeah, I'm hosting this like sort of mini series after the exams where I will be reacting to your guys' posts in specific like tabs of the Discord server. So if you do want to keep in touch with me, feel free to join. It's up to the individual, but yeah, exactly. AI, especially for like computer science as well, is not good. Like, I feel like that people sort of overhype how much AI can actually help on coding, because when I try and get it to make a simple game, it can never really do so. And I do know to certain degrees coding for Python and like some different types of code like C#. But yeah, it ends up doing stuff wrong, so I sort of have to argue with it and that sort of stuff. How do I move from Australia to Saudi? So basically, we started in Australia. My family then moved to New Zealand because it's close by, and I have some family connections there. Beautiful country as well, New Zealand, one of my top like 3 as well. And then yeah, moved to Saudi just due to work reasons with my father. But now we're living here. It's not really seen as like a work reason for us. It's more so like it's a beautiful country, definitely developing, one that's developing quite heavily. And yeah, I feel like in the future it'll definitely be a top tier country, but for now it's still in the developing stages. Lived here now for around 9 years, so I've seen it develop through my own like eyes, and I can tell you that some stuff that's said about here is definitely not what actually goes on. So, and not just saying that if I like live in a city, and I actually have been to different areas around the country. My Arabic, bit embarrassed. I don't know Arabic that well, but next year for university, my first like year in the university, I am learning Arabic as my course. Then I'll be seeing if the channel's good by then we'll be moving on to the channel. Might even do like a dubbed Arabic channel as well at the same time. But then afterwards, if channel's not working out, we'll go into anthropology and something related with Arabic language as well, because I actually like different languages, like linguistics in general. I learned maths by just doing a total equation about 20 times each. Okay, great for you, Dynamites. Now I'm doing A-level law, politics and English, literature, what are the A-levels I'm doing? Yeah, so I'm also in year 13. I'm doing A-level English language. Just did paper 1 a couple of days ago. Doing A-level history and A-level geography. Got English language tomorrow, history next day, and then geography day after, and then history again. You're just in GCSE maths at the moment, so still a long way to go for me. Okay, well, good luck, Dynamites. Well, I know you're in GCSE maths, so I think you're in IGCSE, though, if you're international. How come my exams are so early? Absolutely no idea, and I'm a bit frustrated by it because, yeah, they're all in the first week of May, and that's really annoying for me. I wish they were in, like, the end of May, June, so I'd have a little bit more time, but is what it is. Better to get them out of the way in the end as well. My board is Cambridge International, so CIE. Industrialization, demand. May 14th. Okay, I actually think I have an exam on that day as well. But yeah, lucky that you get an extra week, I guess. But yeah, good luck with your exams. English literature. I did that in IGCSE. Didn't really choose it for A-level. I thought language was a little bit tipping for me, like as in more, I like that more. But yeah, good luck with that. Hope you do succeed, Femi, and I hope you get the score you want. Yes, anyone who's watching as well and is doing exams and they haven't said, I hope you do get the score you want and you do succeed in your exams. Because we're all in this together, and once we get through it together, then we get to choose what we want. At least we can try, at least. Yeah, exactly. If there's a will, there's a way. If we stay focused, locked in, get all this stuff done, we'll get through it. That's what I felt as well with my IGCSEs. I felt after doing them, I didn't feel so confident, especially like with maths IGCSE. I thought that I did something wrong. I got it back, got the exact score I wanted, so I was very pleased. I actually got more than what I wanted there, so yeah, definitely locked in for that one. How do you remember key vocabulary for the industrialization Germany topic? Exactly as I said before. So for key vocabulary, I sort of just make sure that I relate the vocabulary to something else I like. So yeah, if I played like a video game, for example, if I play Clash Royale, which I do indeed, just to answer your question, Femi, I do play video games still. Not during this, obviously, but I play Clash Royale sometimes. If I relate for example, if I relate the shift to economics and industrialization 1848 to the card knight, that will give me a little bit of a reminder, so in the exam I can think of, oh, I've really forgotten something about this topic, let me have a think about the cards that I remembered, and then I go knight, think about it, oh, that's industrialization 1848, and yeah, you just relate to anything you want. So it can be a song. You can play a song while you're learning a specific part of the topic. Then you start like singing the tune of the song in your head, and you should get the sort of notes coming up, because it's sort of called recall memorization, I'm pretty sure, and it helps a lot with memorizing like long sort of portions of information, which obviously history is, and geography is another one too. But yeah, I play video games outside of, once this is done, I play FC25, Clash Royale, and otherwise I'm sort of out of a drought. Like, I can't really think of any sort of video games that I'm passionate about nowadays. I was sort of hoping for GTA 6 to come out this summer so I could stream it when it's out, but yep, delayed by a year, so that's pretty annoying. As well, just yeah, so it's kind of weird how it works, but basically you just remember something, you relate. So the other day I did a geography stream, and you'll see that I related something. So there's a card in the game called Goblin Machine, and I related Goblin Machine to agriculture in the Eden Delta. And so basically what that was about was I was sort of thinking of different terms I could relate that to, and that one was the one that sort of came up to most for me in general, so that I could remember it easily. And yeah, I can remember it now. So I can remember agricultural 20%, cattle grazing, overgrazing is one key cause of river flooding extents due to overland flow and that sort of thing. So as long as you keep remembering that card and the date or whatever the information it should get through. And no, I'm not in the UK. I am currently in Saudi. Memory by association is very powerful. Memory by local is great to associate something with a place. Yes, exactly. That's actually what this app I called Seneca uses. So Seneca was what I used in the IGCSE, and it helped me by it related, for example, if you're doing Macbeth as the play and you need to remember a key quote, it relates the quote to, for example, Weimar, Germany. It relates the quote to that. So then if I think of Weimar, Germany, I can think of the Macbeth quote that I'm trying to remember. So yeah, it's quite powerful to do, and especially actually works pretty immediately. So I wasn't really paying too much attention to like that card memorization geography, yet I still managed to remember most of the key details on my case study. Yeah, in the end, it depends on the person you are and how you can remember stuff. So it works for you to do the quotes and then do the past papers exactly. That's another effective way. For me, yeah, I did that method, and then I would continually just list the quotes on a big piece of paper, and I just continually write them like 50 to 100 times, so then I'd stick in my head and that sort of stuff. Yeah, I did Weimar, Germany for IGCSE, and I'm also doing it for A-level, so I get double Weimar, double Nazi Germany. Yeah, it's one of my favorite topics just because it's so packed with information that you can sort of take out for the exam. Paper 1 I do Hamlet, Doll's House, Christina. Are you doing those? Okay, that's pretty interesting. I did for, oh, hi, Ayman Fatima, welcome to stream, and yeah, you go ahead, ask your question, and hopefully I pronounced your name right. Yeah. While you ask the question, I'll also just answer this. So you did those for your paper 1. For my paper 1 in IGCSE, I had, I think it was Inspector Calls, the play, and also an unseen poem, and then the scene text, which I think at that time was, it was like miniature figurines or something like that. It's related to something. What's it? I can't really tell what that symbol is. Yeah, you can just ask the question, and no problem, I'll answer it. It's related to history. Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll answer any history question. My exam board for IGCSE English was a mixture. So for no, it wasn't. No, it was Edexcel. Sorry, I just had a brain fade there. Indian history. Oh, I'm not that great at that. It's not sort of in my sector of study here. My sector is sort of Germany, Russia, Britain, and Germany again. Liberalism in Germany. GCSE Inspector Calls, Macbeth, and Christmas Carol. Yeah, I did Inspector Calls, paper 1. I did Macbeth. I did Of Mice and Men, and I also did some unseen things from the anthology. So yeah, I had a couple of texts there. Do I know USA history? I studied it for 1 year, like 5 years ago, so I can't remember a single thing about it, to be honest. I'm keen to learn it, though, in the future. Interesting history, once again. Which age did the Mongols come to India? Again, I don't really know because I personally don't study Indian history. My focus was, again, Germany, Britain, and Russia. Actually, now thinking about it, that's like my whole topic is just Germany, like for like full-page papers. There must be an obsession there for Germany and Russia because there's like 4 papers and then they appear on every paper as well. How do I overcome procrastination? I actually said it earlier in the live stream. I think I said it best earlier. I don't know what exact time I said it. I did send a link as well in the chat, so maybe at the timestamp of the link, I think it's the second link up. The first one's on English language notes, and the second one is on the procrastination video. I suggest highly to watch that procrastination video. That should help you out a ton. That one helped me out a lot, especially when I was going through a lot of procrastination at that point. So yeah. Also, switching this music back, I'm sick and tired of hearing that song. Which school do I study in? I study in a online school currently. So yeah, just on online school currently. Pretty good one as well. I'm not going to say it obviously for privacy reasons, but yeah, online school currently. We'll be going to an in-person university, so yeah, for my Arabic course next year. Industrial journey, Nazi Germany, World War II, and Asia, US-Soviet relations. I got all the same instead of the World War II in Asia. I have, let's see, industrial, Nazi, US-Soviet relations. Industrial Britain I have, and I have Russian Revolution as mine. And the Soviet Union's, Stalin and the Soviet Union. Exactly, good job, so long. Well done, you're getting locked out. Is online or offline school better? Let me think. So it just again depends on if you heavily need to socialize each day, then I recommend doing offline school, where you're going in class, you're meeting with your peers, that sort of stuff. But if you don't really need socialization, and obviously it's kind of similar to YouTube in a sense, so maybe that's why I'm doing it in the end, sort of the circumstances got me here. But if you don't really need to socialize as much and you're sort of a more independent thinker and worker, I highly recommend online school, because the quality of content's the same, and plus in online school the lessons are recorded, so you can rewatch lessons as well if you sort of forgot something, and homework is a little bit less of a stress, in my opinion. Do I socialize in Saudi? Yes, I do. I have a ton of friends here. Actually do football training here as well. Big fan of football. Doing accounting past papers right now for O-level. Good luck, Llama. Hope you get through those. Didn't do accounting myself personally. I heard from a bunch of people, though, that is a very painful subject to get through. So, yeah, good luck with that. Can you explain the Bloody Sunday event in French Revolution? I'm also staying while watching a stream. I actually do have the French Revolution as one of my topics. However, it's an optional one and one that I did not pick, but I do have notes for you for it, so don't be afraid I'm sort of diverting my answers again, but here is the notes for it. This is the notes I'm using currently. They have notes on every single part of the French Revolution. Personally didn't pick it because I felt like the French Revolution was too sort of far away from the rest of the topics. I feel like the rest of them were sort of, yeah, I got notes for everything. The rest of the topics were sort of combined into a nice sort of, you got Germany, Russia, and that's basically it. You got maybe Industrial Britain's a side one, but that sort of links to Germany too. But French Revolution was sort of outcast from the rest. Do you have notes for IGCSE, Macbeth, and Inspector Calls? Probably. I would have to go and look for those though, so I can have a quick look now, but if I don't, come back tomorrow. Yeah, come back tomorrow. I'll do a stream in the morning. What grade did I get on your last test? It depends. For history, though, I got, I think it was like 88 out of 100, which is pretty good. You only need to get a 70 in history to get an A, so that's a great score, I feel like. I'll see if I got the Inspector Call notes. How many subs in A-level do I take? I take 3 subjects. I take history, geography, English language. And let's see, I probably got the notes for Inspector Calls. Let's see here, is this good? I do have notes. Here we go. Copy link. Okay. Notes going into the stream. There for Inspector Calls. I'll get the Macbeth notes out, don't worry. Let's see if I have, yeah, I got Macbeth notes. Of course I do. Yeah, these are all good notes, yeah. Exactly, yeah. I'm going to give these to you guys. Okay, anyone with link? Copy link. Thanks, Iman Fatima, for tuning in. Much appreciate your contributions as well to the stream. Hope you have a nice rest of your day. If you enjoyed, subscribe if you did. Otherwise, it's good. And yeah, hope you have a nice rest of your day and get through your studies. And yep, I got the notes for both Macbeth and Inspector Calls now in the chat there, so if anyone wants them, feel free. I think that's all of them. Yeah. Yeah, I probably have notes for some other stuff too, but I have to dig for most of the stuff. English is just sort of easier because the notes I wrote, I can actually remember I wrote them. So with other subjects, though, it's a little bit difficult because some of them I wrote in, like, in-person books as well. So yeah, it's kind of hard to get some notes. Louis XVI's policies. I do not have those, though. Sorry, I do not have Jekyll and Hyde notes. I haven't seen that before. The streak of successes does come to an end. You know what, I'm actually going to just quickly see the English paper 2 paper, because I haven't seen it in a while, which sounds bad of me, but, like, I don't know, I just don't really find need in looking at it that much. English language, do we have? You got to go. Well, thanks. I love to hear that you're more motivated now to study. And yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day study and you get through your notes and get through your exams too with success. And thanks for tuning in. I much appreciate your contributions. Let's go quickly see the paper 2 for this, because I'm a bit of a bad person here not looking at paper 2. Okay, paper 2. Okay. Write the text for your news report. No more. Okay, so this one, teenager from your school has recently been given an award for bravery. Oh, so it's exactly the same as paper 1, except you have question 2 is a writing. Okay. Yeah, I'm all good. Reflective commentary explaining how your linguistic choices contribute to filling the task set. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that. Absolutely fine with not looking at that one at all, so it's literally just copy and paste of paper 1, so yeah, well done Cambridge for making a really fulfilling exam there. Ah, there we go. Well, that was a lot of writing there. I feel like we can end it now, to be honest, as well, because I'm going to do some study off stream, and I also will probably do the walking stream as well later with you guys. So if you want to catch me there again, make sure you do subscribe, because then that will let you get notified when I do another stream. If you want notes as well, then that's a good way to contact me. Discord server, another good way to contact me. If you join it, I appreciate that. And yeah, like the video if this helped you out. And I'll see you guys in the next streams. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Good luck with your exams if you do have them. And I'll see you guys next time. You're going to watch Harry Potter? Well, have fun with that. And I'll see you guys next time.